back. Day 2 of the February challenge, where I am doing a video every single day for the month of February to get my channel back up and running. If you don't know me already, my real name is Taylor, but I go by Cecilia. My brand is Music Cecilia. The other thing that I really wanted to emphasize with the purpose of this channel is that as I continue to evaluate what I want the mission behind my company to be, I think more and more about how therapeutic music is, especially vocal music. There's something about the frequencies of the human voice, and even through technology, even when we are talking about a digitally recorded performance we're listening to, there's that fundamental human component that is so beautiful and resonates with us so deeply. So there's a therapy to being able to listen to our favorite artists. And while there are a lot of reaction and analysis channels here that use musical expertise to critique an artist, I'm not necessarily in the business of doing that. My mission behind my company is more to give people a therapeutic, cathartic experience of understanding deeply why they love the artists that they love. My mission is to create a safe space for people who love these artists to really deeply understand why. Why does this vocal art form resonate with us as much as it does? We have a lot of other cool things in the way of original music coming at you through the channel in the future, but I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. We're going to get into another Angelina Jordan video today because one, her fan base has been so wonderful to our channel, and I just love you all, and I just want to throw you guys another one of these reaction analysis videos from time to time because she's such a fascinating, beautiful artist to talk about. It's so gratifying to talk about an artist as timeless as this one, who is doing amazing things with her voice. And I think it is such a beautiful, safe space for us to be able to explore this music together. Just make sure to keep it kind and therapeutic and cathartic in the comment sections as well, so that we can engage in really beautiful, lively musical discussion about these artists that really deserve to be hyped up as much as they are, and maybe even more than they are in some cases too. We're going to be reacting today to Angelina Jordan's cover of If I Were a Boy. Angelina Jordan, Missy, is 20 years old now, which is crazy because I remember reacting a few years ago to her videos of her on, I think it was Norway's Got Talent, when she was so young. She's been in this industry for a long time, and she has really seasoned as an artist. So it's so fun to see her growth. I don't know if she was, you guys are gonna have to let me know in the comments. I did not do research on exactly when this video was filmed, but she's definitely older here. So I am hoping that this is, I think this is one of her more recent ones. Let me check. This I got off of her actual YouTube channel. Oh, it was filmed 1 year ago, so not that long ago. In the trajectory of music, she is classy and beautiful in this video, and I love the way that they're doing her marketing and branding because I really think it feeds her art instead of just trying to become a gimmick. She has this timeless old world aesthetic that is just so gorgeous. It says that she's doing, this is called Piano Diaries by Toby Gad in parentheses. I did not do a ton of background research on this video. This is actually a blind reaction. But that being said, tell me a little bit about Toby Gad in the comments if you know a little bit more information about their collaborations with each other. I would love to learn from you all.
If I were a boy, even just for a day, I'd roll out of bed in the morning and throw on what I wanted and go drink beer with the guys and chase after girls. I kick it with who I wanted, and I never get confronted for it, 'cause they stick up for me.
I love how much of an individual she is. So this song is originally sung by Beyonce, very different singer, also a lovely, amazing vocalist in the contemporary music world, but she sings it in a very different style. She's completely making this her own. And I always tell my students, that's the difference between karaoke and an artistic cover. You're finding ways to make it your own as an artist. Put your own artistic identity on it. I also wanted to stop and talk a little bit about this subtle beginning. Her, and I also talk about Dimash a lot on this channel. Both of them are so good at building up a song, because a song is a lot about pacing. It's a lot about dynamicism, meaning that we have those swells and ebbs and flows in the voice that build up that story for the audience. But it's not just the storytelling element, it's also functional technique. It's mastery over the instrument in a way that serves the storytelling. So what she's doing here, she's keeping it low and subtle. She has vocal fry in her voice, which is a characteristic style that is intentional. It keeps kind of that little bit of smokiness in her voice that is very indicative of the genre that she sings, which tends to be more jazz or standard leaning. And what I absolutely love too is that she's keeping some air down there as well. So she's not over pressing the sound, because if she were to over press the sound, she would get exhausted in this song really quickly. So that little trickle of air, that lightness to the sound, where it's not overpressed, it's just kind of suspended or a little bit kind of like bouncing on those sound frequencies, that is keeping her functional and keeping it light for her at the beginning. She wants people to focus on the lyrics and she wants to draw people in. Let's keep going, because this is starting out really beautifully. Oh my gosh, the venue she's singing in is gorgeous, and the instrumentalists, I always like to mention them, are doing a wonderful job too.
If I were a boy, I think I could understand how it feels to love a girl. I swear I'd be a better man. I listen to her, 'cause I know how it hurts.
So she's doing very, very intentional vocal fry onsets and outsets. Vocal fry, that's what vocal fry is, by the way, can actually be a little bit cathartic for singers and relieve some vocal pressure in small quantities. So what she's doing there is actually relaxing her onsets a little bit more. Excuse me as I'm like kicking everything. I'm like literally kicking everything in my studio as I'm talking to you all. You can tell I'm getting excited because I'm like being very mindful of also slowing my speech rate down, which I've been talking with my own voice instructor about a lot lately. But what's interesting is I'm not overtly like, I don't always like authentically break down into tears when I hear a great performance. That's just not always how I react. But what you do notice is I start to get excited because I'm excited by good music and she's doing a lot of really cool things. Hey y'all, I had a bit of a technical difficulty when I was filming this video with the phone running out of storage. So I'm using a different phone right now. So if the camera quality is a little different than the previous clip, I apologize, but let's move on. As I was saying, as we get to this more climactic point where she's showing more of her voice, you notice that if I were a boy and I listened to her, those two phrases have the same vowel when we get up to the higher belt. If I were a boy instead of if I were a boy. And that's because in the English language, if we use too much of the diphthong, those combinations of different vowels that we tend to have in our words, we can actually mess with the efficiency of our legato. And in music, especially in vocal training, legato means smooth and connected sound. Like you basically are thinking of like a chain link fence type of connected, or some people, it's more pretty to think of a string of pearls. But she doesn't want to interrupt the legato more than what is artistically appropriate, so she avoids too much of that diphthong in that upper belt. That gives her more breath efficiency, that lets her ride her air, and it feels easier for her to vocally produce. And so it's amazing all of the fine muscle coordination that goes into doing something like that. And she is still quite young to have this much mastery over her instrument, but she's been surrounded by such a support system throughout her career that her voice just continues to age like a fine wine, and she has a lot of mastery over her voice, even though in a singer's overall trajectory of their life, she is still quite young. So her sound is only going to keep getting better from here if she keeps displaying this much mastery over her instrument.
When you lose the one you wanted, 'cause it's taking you for granted, and everything you had got destroyed. If I were a boy, I would turn off my phone.
She goes back to meditation at the end of that initial chorus. So she's continuing that story arc trajectory with the song. She's using vocal dynamics to highlight that. And if you notice, she highlights the diphthong in the word boy, that oi kind of sound, a little bit more in the lower register, because she can more clearly pronounce the words with accuracy down there without them becoming something that interrupts her belt. But she doesn't want to do that as much in the upper register because we're prioritizing quality of tone up there over clarity of diction, even though her diction is still quite good up there. So like I said, lots of mastery over the instrument to nail down that type of coordination. If you're interested in some more of my original music, which is really heavily inspired by folk, country, pop, but kind of like nostalgic country, not as much the more current stuff. It's a little bit of a combination of a lot of things, and some jazz and soul elements as well. I have a record coming out, an indie record coming out called Expose. The first 6 tracks of the record have been released to streaming sites already, and the last 6 tracks of the record, there's 12 total original tracks, will be released in 2026. I'm working with an incredible producer named Kara Greskovic, who is based out of LA for this project, and it has just been probably one of the most gratifying things I've ever done artistically. I love the fact that I get to use this business to explore the contemporary world more myself as a classically trained vocalist, even though I'm super thankful for my classical training because it gives me the idea to articulate sound like this for this channel and teach my students. So I'm just kind of an amalgamation of a lot of things, and I'm proud of that. I'm owning that now. So if you want to be along for that ride too, the Slow Dance music video, which was my premiere single from this album, is available now on the channel. And my song Healing Myself, which is kind of the power ballad of the album, will be releasing with its own self-made music video at the end of February.
Tell everyone it's broken, so they think that I was sleeping alone. I put myself first and make the rules as I go, 'cause I know that she'd be faithful, waiting for me to come home, to come home.
That nice little on me, that nice little vocal run that she did, being able to pull back on the dynamics a little bit. Vocal runs take a lot of elasticity in the vocal folds, a lot of flexibility to do. So anything that has to do with more agility, I always tell singers not to overload dynamically. So we're not going to be pressing that sound forward too much. We're actually going to be leaning back a little bit because there's more flexibility and more of an ability to ride the air with those nice stretchy vocal folds on a quieter dynamic. But it does take more advanced muscle coordination to be oscillating back and forth so much. She's doing a lot of stuff in the upper register that's very forte, very loud, and then she's taking it down to lower dynamics to facilitate the agility. So mastery over the instrument means the instrument is in a constant state of movement and has a lot of ebbs and flows to it. What I absolutely love too is that she's becoming very heartfelt and more relaxed but deliberate with her phrasing in this section, because this is when that reverse perspective of if I were a boy, this is what I could do, really comes in lyrically in the song. This is a person who is not just a capable singer, but also a very, very capable artist. Somebody who wants the storytelling to come first. I talk about that in a lot of my Demosh and Aurora videos too. Those are heavy hitter artists on our channel. They all want the storytelling to come first. So everything they do vocally is going to be for the sake of serving that overall story, that message that can be conveyed through the music.
If I were a bird, I think I could understand how it feels to love a girl. I swear I'll be a better man.
How long did you verify?
It's a little too late for you to come back. Say it's just a mistake. Think I forgive you like that. If you thought I would wait for you, is that wrong?
Did you hear that dynamic change again? So we had that belt that was really, really full and more forte, and then we leaned back on the dynamics for that vocal run that she did afterward. She's pretty relaxed in her breath. You're hearing the air, but I really think that the air being this audible is a stylistic choice for her because her overall phrasing does not seem agitated. This is a girl who has always been able to keep a lot of poise on stage. And I mentioned that I love seeing that she's barefoot because if you've watched my previous videos, you would know I explained for newer people to Angelina Jordan what the significance of that was because I looked it up. But also, it's something that goes back to her roots, and I love that she's never lost that where she came from as a performer or that authenticity. The reason why performing barefoot was significant to her, and I also I really love the way that she is handling the ebbs and flows of the phrasing and how it highlights the meaning of the text. And in this particular bridge section, the reason I say that again is because there's a lot of roller coaster riding of the pitches here. And she's kind of letting herself be along for the ride. Some singers, when they have agile phrasing like that, tend to resist it a little bit. And that's something I work with within my own music, but also with my students in the studio too, is do not resist it, because then we have a dysregulatory response in our nervous system. Allow yourself to relax into the ride and you are more likely to enjoy it and find those sensations that lead to efficient sound, because ultimately that sensation and muscle coordination within the body has to come with a regulated nervous system. So if we're mentally gearing up and going right before we sing, we are much less likely to be able to ride that. She shows in this performance that she trusts her instrument, and there's so much inner work that has to be done with a singer for them to fully trust what their instrument, which is literally inside their body, is capable of. There's a lot of therapeutic elements to body awareness and voice work like that. Because of that, I am not a therapist by any means, but I have had students say that inherently learning more about their voices allows them to learn more about themselves. And artists like these, they kind of like become like a mirror into ourselves because we personally identify with the art that they're making.
You're just a boy, you don't understand. Oh yeah, how it feels to love a girl. Someday you wish you were a better man. You don't listen to her, you don't care how it hurts until you lose the one you wanted, 'cause you've taken her for granted and everything you have got destroyed. But you're just a boy.
Ooh, I love how we ended that. If I remember correctly, when the original Beyonce version came out, they didn't end it with that a cappella phrase. A cappella means without vocal accompaniment. I love that they lingered on that. I might be wrong. I haven't heard the original version with Beyonce in quite a while, but just lingering on that phrase and leaving it there brings the song full circle, because what's so brilliant about the way that this song is written is the fact that it's kind of playing with multiple reverse perspectives. So she's talking about if she were a boy, but then she's also relating it to her own personal experience as a woman being with a boy, being with somebody who should be acting a little bit more like a man than a boy, is what it sounds like, but also pinpointing that overall societal ideal of what it means to be with somebody who is kind of exhibiting that toxic masculinity that people talk about, where there's this absence of softness and kind of this callousness in the relationship. That has become a little bit of a systemic problem, where women don't feel as cherished in relationships as they definitely should be. And so the multiple perspectives and the personal relation and the societal problems, there's so much storytelling that this song has the potential to do, and artists like Angelina can fully do it. That was a treat. I love checking in with this wonderful young lady. She's always a joy. She is a timeless, beautiful instrument. She is so herself. She evokes past genres. I love to see how she is continuing to grow and age into her instrument. I hope that this is a place where you just get to relax, escape the everyday life a little bit, escape whatever you might be dealing with in your personal lives, and just come and enjoy this fantastic music and the wonders of the human voice with me. That really is becoming what this channel is all about. So thank you for being a part of all of the stuff we do on this channel, and thanks for visiting us, and hello to my Angelina fans out there. I love you all so much. Thank you for your support of this channel, and I truly hope that this video just gets to be a highlight of your week. I'll catch you all in the next one during the February challenge. Bye.